Hi everybody and welcome to another episode of Brutal Lynx. I have sort of figured out what I'm going to do with these videos, and the way I'm going to do them is each video is going to have its little theme or its little category, and that's how they'll all be organized on the website. So you'll be able to look at anything that's general, which will just be labeled Brutal Lynx. You'll be able to see anything that is a quick fix, which tends to be those little small videos that I do here and there. When something is on my spirit, when something is weighing on my soul that I absolutely have to get out, because sometimes a growl isn't gonna fucking do it. And then we'll have what I'm gonna do today, which is Storytellers. Storytellers is basically where I'm going to pick a random story from my life and tell it. I know that I may not be Aesop. I know that I'm not 150 years old. I know that I'm not Moses. But in 30 some odd years, I've gotten quite a few stories collected, and what I would love is to have you guys share those stories that you guys might have that are relevant to the one that I told, and tell a video response down there or something. That'd be great. Don't mind me, I'm kind of scruffy, but it's getting colder. I was wearing a goatee for a while. It's time to let the beard grow in. So, yeah, once it gets a little fuller, I will be trimming this up and looking a bit better. Sorry, guys. So, the first story. I guess what I'm going to do is stereotypical of any gay person's blog or video blog, which is tell the story of my coming out and how I was outed on the day of the Lord's resurrection. I'm feeling a little Snoop Dogg, so I'm having gin and juice. This story goes back to my teenage years. By the time I was 17, I had pretty much come out to my friends, and my friends knew. Not that I have very many friends at all. I really didn't. Damn, that's strong. At least not that I thought about, but, of my core friends, they knew. And it wasn't a big deal. They didn't care. And the way that happened was I was a senior in high school, and gym class was happening, and I just sort of was sitting on the sidelines and looking all mopey and drama and shit. And one of my friends at the time, of course, I'm not gonna say her name. We'll just call her Lady K because that her name starts with that. So LK. LK comes up to me and she's like, what's wrong with you? Now, I've known her for a couple of years. She and I took Taekwondo classes together, so it was kind of, we had that sport thing happening, that camaraderie going on. And I just look at her and I tell her, I say, hey, I'm gay. And that's kind of messing with me right now. And she looks at me and she goes, are you serious? Is that the only reason why you're sitting here looking like you're about to slit your fucking wrists? And I just kind of looked at her and was like, yeah. Honey, she looked at me and was like, bitch, get your ass up and get over here and play some damn volleyball. You ain't special. Now, this was not that long ago. I mean, it was long enough ago, but to have that kind of response from someone who I held so close. Hi, world. Hi, everybody meet Brucifer. Oh, you little, no, get out of here. You'll be none of that. It was actually reassuring. So my story of coming out is not tragic in any way, shape, or form. I know people who have had the worst coming out stories known to mankind. Before I came out to my parent, I was very apprehensive. I mean, my head had been full of horrible coming out stories. I mean, horrible shit. Like kids getting kicked out, someone's father beating the hell out of them and kicking them out, and, parents trying to take them into churches that'll fix them. Fix what? Dumbasses. So I was scared. I was scared. Now, my mother had never said anything bad about gays, but she never really said anything good about them either. I mean, to describe my mom, if you take Archie Bunker and wrap him in a ball of fabulous, you got my mother. So, she's a product of her environment. She's a product of the 50s, and she has her views, but she never said anything bad about gays. So, you know, just imagine someone going, "Oh, he's a fag," but not really meaning anything bad about it. That's just what they call them. I mean, she had gay friends, and I'm sure she called them fags to their faces. That's who she is. But or she'd be like, "He's gay," and it just never felt like a good thing. So we fast forward a little bit, and I am about 18 years old, and I meet my ex. And you'll hear more about him at some other point with some other story. He and I were together for 10 years, and that was the 10 years I spent in New York City before I moved to Massachusetts. But I met him, and I had to move back home for a short period of time. And during the time when I was at home, I was inhabiting my old room, and I had a phone, but it wasn't a cell phone. It was like a regular land phone. Back then we had pagers, beepers with the. If you were rich, you had the square ones with the text on it, which was kind of awesome. And I got in the call, and it was my ex. So I get on the phone, and I'm being all hush hush on the phone, like, I'm trying to make sure that can't nobody see or hear what the hell I'm saying, because my bedroom was right off of the kitchen, and my mom was in the kitchen making dinner at the time. I think I actually remember what the hell it was. I think she was making mashed potatoes and meatloaf or something like that. I think that's what she was making. And I get done with the conversation. I come out of my bedroom. My mom then looks at me and she goes, "Why were you all hush hush on the phone? What purpose was you doing on the phone being all hush hush? What kind of secrets you up? You up to something. I know you up to something." Neck and all. And I just kind of look at her and I'm like, "No, I'm not up to anything." What are you possibly, well, what are you talking about? "I heard you all hush hush in there on the phone. Who was it? It must have been something important, or it must have been something that you must be up to no good if you sitting there all hush hush and now you ain't gonna tell me who it was." So I just look at her and my mouth opens and speaks, because like I said before, if a bitch think it, the bitch says it. So before my brain could catch up with what my mouth is doing, I say, "Oh, well, if that's the case, then hey, I was on the phone with my gay lover in New York." Yeah. So she looks at me and she goes, "I don't know why you'd say something like that. There's no reason for you to say anything like that. I mean, it's not like I would love you any less or anything like that. I don't care if you were gay." To which I looked at her, and once again, I go, "Well, if that's the case, Mom, I'm gay." And I tightened up. I tightened up like, "Oh," because I was waiting for it. This is a woman who will falcon punch your ass in a heartbeat. She is no joke. I mean, I'm 30 something, and I got the foulest ass, sailor ass, cuss you out, weave a tapestry and profanity above your fucking head that will last until the Lord's return. I got a horrible mouth. I get around this woman, and it shuts right the hell up, and everything that comes out is golden words. It's like Christ is speaking, and you know that's how scared of the woman I can be, and I'm 30 something. So I'm tight. I'm like, she gonna fuck me up. At which point she looks at me and she says, "Is that why you've been walking around here with your face all on the floor? Is that why you've had such a horrible attitude? Is that why you've been walking around here and I have no idea what's going on with you and I'm thinking it's my fault? Is that what was wrong with you all of this time?" To which I kind of felt like a dumbass, and I was like, because now it don't even feel. It felt like I ain't said shit. It felt like I looked at her and said, I scratched the car. She was just like, all this time I thought it was my fault. I thought it was something I had done to you. She said, all this time I thought I had somehow messed up as a parent and that you were taking it out on me. At which point, I felt like even further of a dumbass. And said, yes, Mom, that's been the problem this entire time. To which she said, well, so what? I still love you. I was like, yeah, but you won't have any grandkids. You can always adopt. No. And then, of course, my sister comes out. She's like, what the hell is going on out here? Because my sister has a dirty mouth, and she don't care who the hell she around. She has no fear of my mother. that little bitch walking around here cussing and everything else. And I'm just like, all right. So I tell her. And she bursts into tears. Goes into her room. I go into her room and I'm just like, look, I did not mean to hurt you in any way, shape, or form. I mean, this has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with me. To which point we're sitting on her bed and I'm telling you, I'm the same person you've always known. I will still lock your little ass in the closet for 7 hours if you piss me off. I'm the same guy. I'm the same big brother that took your melted ass doll and scared the shit out of you with it. I'm the same person. To which point she looked at me and said, I think, I'm trying to remember, this was a while back. And she said something to the effect of, but you couldn't tell me? Like she was pissed off that she didn't know first. How many people have this story to tell? So now we fast forward to how I was outed by how this great ball of fabulousness outed me to the rest of the family. So fast forward to the day of our Lord's resurrection, Easter Day. I am nowhere to be found. My mother outs me at Easter dinner, and I'm not even there. I was with my boyfriend's family, and we get back, and I get a call from my eldest cousin. My eldest cousin then proceeds to tell me the story. And the story goes something like this. My mother and my sister show up, and one of my aunts, because my aunt P was still alive at the time, and my aunt V, who's still around, this was her house. And of course, my 3 cousins, which are my aunt V's sons, were there. And I never miss a family dinner. All of this that I'm trying to get rid of now, okay, not all of this was because of that, but the first time I had to lose it was because of all these family dinners that were just like this. And Aunt V goes to my mom. Hey, where's Lynx at? He never misses Easter dinner. And she's right. To which my mom replied, oh, he's in New York. He's having Easter dinner with his boyfriend's family. Blank stares. The entire family's like, huh? And this is where it gets awesome. Pardon me while I Snoop Dogg it up and have a little bit more of my gin and juice. That's right, bitches, I'm drinking. Telling your coming out story, you gotta have a drink. At which point in time, my aunts go, no, not Lynx. No. He's had girlfriends. He plays sports. He's a guy. At which point they all say, we thought it was S. And this is my older cousin, because in the order of us kids, it goes S, me, E J J. Um, and my cousin S is like, "What? You guys think I'm gay? I'm not gay." And they're like, and then my Aunt P goes, "Well, you never have had a girlfriend." And so the entire freaking dinner came about to be about not how I'm gay. No, 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 no. Had nothing to do with me. Had everything to do with how S is not gay. And how is it possible that I am gay, but S is not? And that's it. Really, that was my coming out experience. I get outed by my mother at Easter dinner, and I'm not even there, and nobody could give a shit. Everybody else was trying to figure out how they were wrong about the other one. Now, I know some of you may be thinking, what about your father? What about your father? Isn't your father in the picture? What about your daddy? Well, my father was never really around. He really wasn't. But I know who he is. I know what he looks like. We've spoken on occasion. I don't talk to him anymore. There's no point in it. I don't know him. It's kind of like a stranger. But, of course, my mother, he's the father of her children. He deserves to know these things. So my mother goes and tells him. To which he does not contact me and say anything to me about it. Fast forward a couple of years, and Aunt P dies. Now, Aunt P was a friend to everyone. She had not a single enemy. Her funeral looked like the damn Soul Train dance line. I mean, there were just people. Everybody was celebrating her life. People were crying. People were telling stories. We were all just, enjoying having known her. So losing my Aunt P was a big deal. I mean, she basically, my mom worked all the time, and my Aunt P raised me basically. So losing her was definitely very hard on me. And lo and behold, even of my father, she did not make an enemy. And my father showed up at the funeral. And of course, we didn't speak, and he just kind of looked at me, and I kind of looked at him. I gave him a look like, got something to say, bitch? Because you really have no say in anything. I had quite an attitude with him at the time. And after the services, the lobby is out there, and I'm out there in the lobby with my ex, and my father comes out. So I'm like, "Oh, hi, okay." I introduce him to my ex. I go, "M, this is my father. Father, this is M." And I think the first thing that bothered my father was that he was white. He wasn't happy with that shit at all. And then the other thing that was upsetting my father is something that you're getting ready to learn. So my father and I go for a walk, and we start talking about this whole thing. Gay, whatever. We go through it, and he looks at me, he says the most ignorant shit. He goes, "Well, which one of you is the woman and which one of you is the man?" So I looked at his dumb ass and I said, "We're both men, that's why we're gay." To which he said, "You know what I mean." So I looked and I said, "Oh, you mean which one of us is the pitcher, which one of us is the catcher?" He goes, "Yeah." So I looked and I said, "I'm the pitcher, he's the catcher." To which my father's response, "I shit you not." "Oh, well that's alright then." So I looked at him and I said, "That's what's been weighing heavy on your mind? Is whether or not I was getting fucked or not?" "Well, this is okay." I said, "Really?" "Well, if it's any consolation, I suck dick though." And then I politely turned around and I walked my happy gay ass away. And that's it. That was the last thing I ever said about it. No one ever brings it up. No one ever talks about it as if it's something that's anything. It's just not a part of who I am to them. To them, I'm the same big-headed, loud-mouthed, smart-ass little ball of bastard that I had always been. And that's just what I wanted. I didn't want anything to change. So I got what I wanted. My coming out story is not tragic. But I hope this helps some of you out there realize that sometimes you don't give your family members enough credit. Sometimes you don't. Um, sometimes the worst thing that you think could happen is sometimes the best, or sometimes the worst that you think is going to happen doesn't happen at all because you did not give them credit. You didn't trust them enough to love you. And if they don't, fuck them. Right? Because, see, they really have no choice. Well, they do have a choice. That choice is either accept it and deal with it or lose you. Most parents would rather not lose you. Even the ones who you think are steadfast in it, the moment you cut them out of your life, they will want to be back. So they either love you or lose you. Either way, it works out best for you. If they lose you, they weren't worthy enough to be in your life to begin with. I know they're your family. I know it's blood. But guess what? You have your life to live, and you can't live it by anyone else's rules. You can't live it based on what other people are thinking or what your parents might do about it. Because you're your own person. They can't stop you short of killing you. And even then, would that be the worst thing that could possibly happen? Depends on what you believe. But either way, if they love you for it, you have your family. If they don't, you have the luxury of being able to build your own family. But don't live your life in fear. I mean, I had some of the worst times in my life because I was living it in fear of coming out, in fear of just being me. People going, oh, you sound gay, and having to change how I talk so that way I don't sound gay. Do you know how much energy that takes? Shit. So, I guess I said all of that to say this. Not every coming out story is a tragedy. Every now and then it does work out for the best. Don't be afraid of anything or anyone, for they are just people. Nothing more, nothing less. If they don't like it, they don't deserve to be in your life. Fuck them. And that's it. So don't forget to follow me on Twitter at LynxBear. You can also find me on Facebook. I'll put the link at the end of the video. And that's it for this Storytellers. You guys got to hear the story of my coming out. Hopefully I can tell, some of the better, funnier, just more perverted stories later on. And I got a couple doozies for you, like the first time I got laid after, being with my ex and moving up here. That's a good story. So, peace out for now. See you guys later. Ooh, damn, that's strong. You guys like the shirt? Yeah, this week's Bare Bones t-shirt is the Pirate Booty Bear. Yes, this is actually the first shirt I bought from these guys, and it's actually been holding up pretty well. It's been washed a lot. I've worn it a lot. It's comfortable. The size fits just right. Some of my other shirts are a little too big for me, but I've been getting smaller. So, yeah, like even from the last video, smaller. But yeah, t-shirt. Bare Bones. I'll put the web link down below. You guys should check them out. Get your own shirts. If you guys like bears, you guys like the bear stuff, come on, support local bear businesses and all that other great stuff. Catch you guys later.